Hello. Before reading this statement regarding the drying up of Lake Urmia, I would like to inform you that Lake Urmia is located in southern Azerbaijan. It is important to remember that Azerbaijan was historically divided by Russians and Persians into two parts, northern Azerbaijan and southern Azerbaijan. Today, northern Azerbaijan is recognized as an independent country known as the Republic of Azerbaijan, while southern Azerbaijan lies within Iran and is governed by a Persian-centered central authority. With this clarification, I now present the following statement. Statement of the Cooperation Council of Southern Azerbaijan Organizations on the catastrophe of Lake Urmia's drying. The drying of Lake Urmia is one of the greatest environmental disasters in the Middle East and a clear example of the colonial policies of the Islamic Republic of Iran against the Turkic nation of Azerbaijan. The consequences of this disaster are not limited to a single lake or region. It threatens the social, economic, and human life of millions in Azerbaijan and even in surrounding areas. Experts have warned that if this trend continues, it may soon render major cities, including Tabriz, uninhabitable. This catastrophe is the result of decades of deliberate anti-Azerbaijani policies. Since the mid-1990s, experts repeatedly warned about the lake's fate. Civil protests in Azerbaijan began in the early 2000s and continued widely over time. Nevertheless, successive governments failed to take effective action to save the lake. The establishment of the Lake Urmia Restoration Headquarters in 2013 and the drafting of 27 different plans also failed to prevent this outcome. The limited budgets allocated to these projects were grossly disproportionate to the scale of the crisis and paled in comparison to the multi-billion-dollar water transfer projects directed to the central desert regions of Iran. In recent years, even these modest commitments were abandoned, and the restoration headquarters was dissolved. Evidence shows that the drying of Lake Urmia is not merely the result of environmental mismanagement, but part of a broader political and security-driven approach. In unaccountable regimes, deliberate destruction of natural resources as a tool for demographic change and geographical engineering has a long history. The Islamic Republic of Iran has turned the Lake Urmia crisis into an instrument for altering the demographic composition of western and central Azerbaijan and weakening the geopolitical ties of southern Azerbaijan with Turkey and northern Azerbaijan. It is evident that regional developments among Turkic countries and the strengthening of Turkic unity have fueled Turkic identity movements in Iran, alarming the Islamic Republic. Under these circumstances, certain power centers within the regime see the drying of the lake as an opportunity to implement policies of forced displacement and mass migration of Azerbaijani people to central Iran. Statements by some high-ranking officials who portray Turks as outsiders and enemies, along with the regime's anti-Turkic policies and a return to the Persian chauvinist fascism of the Pahlavi era, reflect the depth of this discriminatory mindset. For years, the Turkic people of Azerbaijan have demanded the rescue of the lake through civil, cultural, and social protests, but the Islamic Republic has responded only with violence and repression while continuing its colonial policies. Despite exploiting Azerbaijan's underground and surface resources, the regime has not only refused to take meaningful steps to revive Lake Urmia, but has accelerated its desiccation by measures such as completely cutting off river inflows. Now the patience of the Turkic people of Azerbaijan have been stretched to its limits, as deadly salt storms are dragging the region toward catastrophe. Experts believe that Lake Urmia, even in its fully desiccated state, remains restorable because its watershed still receives sufficient rainfall. With the implementation of scientific methods, the lake can gradually be revived. We, as the Cooperation Council of Southern Azerbaijan Organizations, warn the Islamic Republic not to further test the patience of the Turkic people of Azerbaijan. The regime must abandon its destructive agenda and immediately hand over the Lake Urmia restoration project to dedicated Azerbaijani specialists, funding it from the very resources it has extracted from Azerbaijan. Otherwise, it will soon face the angry response of the Turkic nation, and the entire Azerbaijani national movement will stand alongside the people in this struggle. Cooperation Council of Southern Azerbaijan Organizations. 1. National Resistance Organization of Azerbaijan. 2. Azerbaijani Student Movement. 3. Southern Azerbaijan Independence Party. 4. Southern Azerbaijan Republican Party. 5. Southern Azerbaijan Democratic Party. 6. Southern Azerbaijan Liberation Party. 7. Central Azerbaijan Party. 8. South Azerbaijan National State Alliance. 9. Azerbaijan Democratic Party. 2025-09-26.